With the extra point, this is Erik McKinney, joined by Greg Katz. And Greg, with the season coming back, we're talking the biggest winner as far as when we look at USC, who wins the most with that announcement and with football coming back.
Well, I'm going to take a little bit of a untraditional view of it. Obviously, we know the players, the winners, the TV is the winner. I think the fans are the winners, the Pac-12 fans. One of the things that was understandable but disappointing is you didn't see a lot of Pac-12 fans going crazy about what was happening, whether there's going to be a season, there's not going to be a season. I mean, certainly not the same reaction you would get in the SEC. I mean, you could have had a combination of COVID-19, the flu, measles, smallpox. You could have laid them all out there in the South, and those people go, fine, we're playing anyway. But, the Pac-12 sees things differently. And I supported the Pac-12, by the way, in writing, that I felt that if they didn't even have a season, it made perfect sense to me. So I think the big winners are the fans. I still think they're the fans because without the fans, even if they can't attend games, they can still be emotionally involved. And one of the things I found myself doing when I watched some of the games, like the one game I watched, Duke and Notre Dame, was when that camera is on the field of play, you don't really pay attention to who's sitting in the stands, who's not sitting in the stands. I mean, if you were sitting in the stands, you'd go, wow, there's not a lot of people here, and you'd be distracted. But I thought Notre Dame actually presented it pretty well, even though they did have some fans in the stands. But when I was watching it on TV, just the noise of the band in the background. I mean, you could even do that on a CD. But, it was about the game. And the fans may not be in the Coliseum, but you can have a family tailgate in your backyard, hopefully not doing anything that's going to cause a problem health-wise. But once the game starts rolling, hey, you'll get intense if it's SC UCLA. You'll get intense if the Trojans are, one game away from winning the South. Just by the nature of that little camera that walls off a lot of things that you would see in a stands, so it could turn out to be turning a negative into a positive, in my opinion. So the big winner, in my opinion, is the fans.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a couple different answers. I think Keaton Slovis and Amon-Ra St. Brown, the way they kind of stepped up and really led the charge back, and I think it gives you a sense and maybe USC again gets a sense of their place in the Pac-12 and what they can bring to negotiations and discussions and really finding a way forward for the conference. But looking on the field, I'm going to say it's USC defensive coordinator Todd Orlando. I mean, this is a guy who, and really, I guess, looking outside of that, the whole defensive staff, without a season, they were going to have to go through signing day and finish this 2021 class, going after a few big time guys that are left there, and start making an impression on that 22 class without being able to show them anything on the field. I mean, they can't even go back and say, oh, well, during our time, during spring ball or anything like that. There's just not a lot that exists. There's some stuff that they've been able to do, but, hitting and tackling and how it works against another offense, they're going to be able to do that now, right? The recruits won't be able to be at the games and be on official visits and unofficial visits as that dead period got extended. But the fact that they can show them, hey, here's what the defense looks like. Here's what we're going to do. Here's where you fit in. I think that's important to be able to move forward with recruiting, which is going to be a big job for that defensive staff. That's why a lot of those guys were brought in, certainly to coach, but also to bring in some big-time guys. So I think he's a winner, being able to come in, and especially how well he's able to do in quickly installing a defense for a veteran defense. Now, he lost a big piece in Jay Tufele, who has declared for the draft and elected to opt out the season. But there's a lot of guys that he has to work with, and being able to actually get some games in and get some film, I think the faster he could get going, the better it is going to be for him and really for the USC defense. So he and also looking out the guys around him, the defensive staff, I think those are the big winners at getting football this fall.